Malaysia is considering another tranche of samurai bonds, some 6 months after issuing 7.4 billion ringgit worth of yen-denominated debt security in Tokyo. Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad explains Japan is offering lower rates this time compared with the 0.65% per annum for the previous issuance. He says Putrajaya will look at how it can use this cheap money to overcome Malaysia's financial woes. Samurai bonds are issued to Japanese investors by a non-Japanese entity and subject to Japanese regulations. They provide the issuer with access to Japanese capital, which can be used for local investments or financing operations outside of Japan. The PH government's initial 10-year samurai bonds were oversubscribed by some 1.6 times at 324.7 billion yen over the 200 billion yen offered in February this year. Proceeds will be used to fund infrastructure developments, including the construction of schools, hospitals and roads. Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad says the government's decision to allow Lynas Corp to continue operating in Malaysia has nothing to do with the miner's link to Japan. In June, Lynas signed a 10-year loan extension with its Japanese backers, which enabled the firm to channel more investments into its Malaysian operations. The Australian miner reportedly supplies about 30% of the rare earths used in Japan to make chips, batteries and motoring components. Critics say this is the reason why Putrajaya, which is eyeing another round of samurai bonds, agreed to extend Lynas's license for its Gebeng plant. Dismissing the allegation, Mahathir also warns against treating Lynas Malaysia like a pariah, saying that forcing the firm out of the country would harm foreign investment into Malaysia. He points out that Lynas's 1.7 billion ringgit investment is a sizable and necessary one, and that its operations here has created 700 high-paying jobs. RHB Bank saw its second quarter earnings climb by 7.9% to 615.4 million ringgit on the back of higher non-fund-based income and lower expected credit losses on loans. Top line grew by 12% year-on-year to 3.4 billion ringgit. For the 6-month period, its net profit stood at 1.25 billion ringgit, 7.3% higher from a year earlier, while revenue improved by 9.5% to 6.8 billion. The group declared a dividend of 12.5 cents per share. RHB Bank Group MD Datuk Khairul Ramli says the positive results is a testament to its ability to maintain positive growth momentum during challenging times. Moving forward, the group is expecting 2019's banking industry loans to grow at mid-single digit, supported by a resilient household sector. The lender, the nation's fourth largest by assets, sees the central bank keeping the OPR at 3%, despite a risk of further reduction. It says Malaysia's economic growth should moderate to 4.5% this year from the 4.7% recorded in 2018, as US-China trade tensions continue to weigh on exports. MRCB saw lower billings from its property projects drag its second quarter earnings down by 67% to 11.1 million ringgit. Revenue was down by 40.5% to 241 million ringgit. For its first half, net profit tumbled by 72% to 15.2 million ringgit as income shrank by 43% to 475 million ringgit. MRCB says both its top and bottom lines were hurt by its newer property development projects, which were still at the early stage of construction. Also not helping, the deferment and retiming of income recognition from the LRT3 project, as a result of it being remodelled from a project delivery partner regime to a fixed price contract model. Group MD Imran Salim says improved profits will be coming in next year, with contribution from its Central Suites and Carnegie developments in Melbourne, and as the pace of revenue and profit recognition from the LRT3 project picks up. Meanwhile, its Engineering, Construction and Environment division has opened tenders valued at 1.57 billion ringgit and is placing greater emphasis on seeking infrastructure projects. As at June 30th, its external clients order book stood at 22.6 billion ringgit, which it says is amongst the highest in the industry. Malindo Air CEO Chandran Ramamurthy is relinquishing his post effective September 23rd. Taking his place is Captain Mushafiz Mustafa Bakri, currently Director of Safety, Security and Quality of Thai Lion Air, a low-cost airline within Lion Group. He has over 24 years of aviation experience. According to Malindo, Chandran will be taking on a new role as Group Strategic Director of Lion Group. He will remain as a shareholder of Malindo.